Let's talk about a type of graph that we're probably familiar with. I'm guessing a bar graph. And we use a bar graph when we have data that is qualitative, not quantitative. So generally speaking, words, not numbers. That's not always the case. But data that categorizes things with words rather than data that we can do meaningful math with. So there are no numbers here. All right, so I've got the list of Big 12 schools here. Now there are 16 universities in the Big 12. Don't ask why. And then each school has colors associated with it, right, with their mascots. So they have a main color and a secondary color generally, and so I've kind of listed those out here as I found them. And then I simplified the main color into kind of a rainbow color or a simpler color family. And my question is, how many schools use each type of color as their main color? Okay, or put a different way, how many times is each color represented in the Big 12? So what we might do is make what's called a little frequency chart here, where we list off the colors and then we list their frequency. And this is used to make a bar graph, but also other types of graphs as well. So I might start with blue, since it's first on my list, and then count up the number of blues, and they occur 3 times. And then I might go down with the next color on the list is red, and there are actually a bunch of reds, so that happens 7 times. Green is the next on the list, and that's just once, that's just Baylor. Blue, red, gold. Okay, Colorado lists gold as their main color, but that's the only one. We've got a bunch of reds, and then we come to purple, and purple occurs twice. Orange, just once. And black. UCF has black. They also have gold, but they listed black as their main, so we'll go with that. Okay, so now we're going to take that frequency table and we've summarized our data. Now notice we've lost information. We don't know which team is which in this, but that's okay because that's not what I was interested in for my little summary bar graph here. Okay, so our bar graph is going to have a vertical axis and a horizontal axis, and the category that we're interested in here goes along the bottom. So main team color or main school color. Okay, along the horizontal axis. And then along the vertical axis, we're always going to have the same thing. We're going to have some type of frequency count. So how often something occurs. Okay, and then we're going to give our graph a title. So the main color frequency for Big 12 schools. All right, that's kind of a mouthful. There's maybe a nicer way to word that, but we'll go with that for now. Okay, so first thing we need to do is list all of our categories out here. Now, you might consider lumping all the ones that just happen once. You might put those in an other category. But for now, let's keep them separate. And the other thing to consider is how do we want to arrange these along the axis? We could do it just as written. There's no real order to that. Remember how these were originally organized? It was alphabetically by school, and we don't even have that data now. So maybe we go alphabetically by color. That's going to make me think on the spot here for a second, but let's see. We'd have black and then blue. All right, what comes next alphabetically? Looks like it might be gold. I'm going to miss one, I know it. Green. And then what are we what are we on to next? Looks like orange. And then purple. And then red. All right, so that looks like 7 colors to me. I'm just going to double check. All right, we got it. Whew, that was a close call. Now, in order for us to put our bars here, we need to know what our scale for frequency is. And if we look down the list here, our highest frequency was 7. So I need to leave enough room so that I can at least go up 7 ticks if I'm counting by ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice things are evenly spaced here, and they should be evenly spaced across the bottom as well. All right, when I make my first bar, I'm going to do it for black. So I'm going to make a bar that is 1 unit high, or 1 tick mark high for black. When I make it for blue, I want to make sure that it has the same width. And also I want it spaced so that the bar is not touching this bar. It's a completely separate group. So the blue schools, there were 3 of those. So I will go up 3 and make my second bar. But I want it to be as wide as the last one so it's not distorted or misleading at all. All right, for gold there was 1. For green there was 1. So I can see I'm already being a little careless. It looks like this one's a little taller than that. So you need to kind of be careful and not mislead or misrepresent anything with your graph. Okay, but we've got 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. Purple was 2. And I should be able to tell at this point that purple is twice as big as orange because my graph starts at 0, right? And then red goes all the way up to 7. All right, sometimes if you have something like this that's very far away from our scale over here, you might have vertical or horizontal lines that go across and kind of help guide you. You may also put the numbers above each one, and that adds some clarity as well. But there is our bar graph. Okay, bars not touching each other. Bars evenly distributed widths. It's got a title. Each axis is labeled. And that's it. We transferred our data from a frequency table. Our total frequency here was 16 because there are 16 teams in the Big 12. And that is how we make a bar graph.